Hey everyone, welcome to the KE Report and a company update from Aztec Minerals. I am chatting with the president and CEO of Aztec Minerals, Simon Dykowski. Aztec is traded on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol AZT and on the OTCQB under the symbol AZZTF. Wanted to bring Simon on for a quick update. The company has just announced that they are going through a private placement raising up to about $3 million Canadian. And I wanted to get Simon's insights on what this money will be allocated towards. We've been chatting a lot about the work at that Tombstone project in southern Arizona. The company last year was drilling some of the new areas and ended the year with an encouraging result in the southern extension area of that Tombstone project. So, Simon, just a quick update here in terms of this financing, when it closes, for whatever amount it does close for, where are you planning on allocating those funds to?
Hey, Corey, thanks for the opportunity to come on to your show and chat about the financing and Aztec in general and our plans. So we did announce an up to $3 million raise. It's essentially fully allocated at this point, just, getting the final paperwork ready and organized. So the idea is to close it around May 6th. So that's 2 weeks from yesterday. And use of proceeds is for both of our properties and for working capital, but we would like to focus on some follow-up drilling at Tombstone. So this hasn't been finalized yet. It's in the discussion stages with our technical committee and our partners, but essentially, given the strength of the results that we saw in the southern extension zone of the contention pit, which was our step out hole that hit bonanza grade silver, approximately 7,269 grams per ton silver equivalent over 1.5 meters, within 25.8 meters, averaging 570 grams silver equivalent. We'd like to drill a solid follow-up in that zone. So we're looking at, in the range of 10 to 12 holes there, shallow RC drilling. Then at the west side area, we continue to see the potential to meaningfully expand the system to the west. So we're looking at approximately 1,500 meters or about 10 holes in the west side area, which brings us to about 3,500 meters of RC shallow drilling. So 2,000 meters in the south, 1,500 meters to the west. And then we have drilled pre-collars in our last round of drilling for deeper, although I would point out not that deep in the context of CRD mineralization, but drill a little bit deeper into the carbonate units that underlie the Bisbee Group sediments where our shallow oxide gold silver system is hosted. So we're looking at targets that would extend our pre-collar holes by roughly 400 to 600 meters on approximately 3 targets. So 1,500 meters of deeper core drilling. So add those three together, and we're thinking about a 5,000 meter program, combined RC and core as a follow-up to the shallow drill success that we had in the fourth quarter of 2024, and then as a first pass of deeper drilling into our CRD targets that we've had a few news releases on over the past couple of months as those targets have become a little bit more solid.
So let's break down, I guess, the two different strategies. Then, starting off with that shallow expansionary drilling, how aggressive are you going to be on these step out holes? Any idea the distance of these step outs?
That's a good question. We'd like to keep things largely on the same 50-meter centers that we have in the north end of the pit, just to have a consistent data set for modeling. And then in terms of, how far south we go, we will certainly plan to extend the strike of the drill grid to the south. But I think you could expect more of a grid drilling like we have in the north end of the pit, which has some expansionary potential to it. If you look on our website or on our presentation, you'll see that the three zones that we've now delineated, being the contention main zone, the southern extension, and the west side, only the main contention zone has truly like a grid drilled on it. And so our plan is to extend that to the south, which has seen more limited first pass drilling and is similarly to the west side area. So more of like a grid pattern to continue to grow south and west.
In terms of the CRD drilling, that deeper drilling, when you're looking for CRD deposits, those can be very large and contain different minerals, different metals. Give us an understanding of what you think is possible in terms of what you could hit down there, how likely it is to hit early on in a program because of how large these systems can be, and what sort of metals we should be looking out for when results come.
Yeah, well, we have an excellent guide, and that's a historic drill hole that was intersected in 1989, 7.2 meters of around 10% metal content. And how that broke down was approximately 9.1% lead zinc combined, 0.6% copper, an ounce of silver, and a sniff of gold. So we're primarily looking for silver lead zinc mineralization. And our target for one of the holes is into it's known as a conductivity target. So we've done natural source AMT geophysics over the whole property. And hole 16, TR 2416, was drilled as a pre-collar that is aimed directly into the heart of this, what we have interpreted to be a conductive body that sits between approximately 500 and 700 meters below the surface, which also happens to be the same depth as the historic CRD style of mineralization that was drilled by a previous operator in the hole that I just mentioned, T8, drilled in 1989. And so that's situated about 500 to 600 meters to the northwest. So with those two holes, we should learn a lot. Like, one, we will confirm if that mineralization is there as it's been reported, which is important. And then if there is, a similar result 500 meters to the southeast in the main heart of the geophysical anomaly of, that style of mineralization, silver, lead, zinc, sulfide, I think that would be very successful for us, and it would give us a reason to go and very meaningfully expand a drill program in and around that target. And then the third target we're planning has yet to be pre-collared, but that would be coming in from the south of the contention pit, so even further south than hole 16, and that would come in from a different angle to the northeast. So that's the plan for those three holes.
So, Simon, is there any additional surface work that needs to be done to further isolate exactly where these holes are going to be, and any permits needed for when you can start drilling?
So no permits needed because we own the land. So, I mean, we obviously need a permit, but it's a notification. So it's not like an application as you would do on public lands like BLM land or forest land or crown land in Canada, for example. So the permit is a notification. So that takes about 1 day. So that's not anything that we have to wait for. And then in terms of any additional work to fine tune these targets, we're quite comfortable now with our targets without doing additional work. So no, essentially drilling is the next phase of exploration for the CRD targets for us at this point.
Okay. So, Simon, I guess when you close this financing, how quickly will you be able to get on the ground with some drills?
Well, that's a great question. And the reason that we're actually doing the financing now is because the drill that we had back in our last program, which was amazing. I think we did a little show on it actually around the time that we had this tank mounted RC rig. It's available to us again, and it's just finishing up a job that's near us in Tucson. So it helps with lowering the mob costs. So we can get the drill back at the end of May, early June. So that's the tentative plan. I don't want to definitively promise, and investors will have to be guided by our public disclosures. I do want to qualify that. But our plan is to mobilize, subject to approvals and funding and everything, sometime the second quarter for the combo program of RC and core drilling.
Okay. Well, pretty straightforward here, Simon. Thank you for this update. I will post a link to the company's website in the show notes so everyone can read over all the recent news releases. If you have any follow-up questions for Simon regarding this financing, any upcoming drilling, or anything else, please email me and I'll get him to address those. Simon, thank you for the update. We'll touch base as you move forward with this drill program.
Hey, Corey, thanks for the opportunity and have a great start to spring here.